you spoke about the mind. We had your mind scan on the board. You said the mind becomes a friend. It shouldn't be our enemy. So do you have some hacks how the mind can become our friend?
Yeah, still working on it. Well, I guess if you think about it, how in this world do you make friends with someone? Can you tell me, shout out some of the ways in which you make friends with someone? What would you do if you wanted to make friends with someone? Give them food. Okay. Appreciate them. Share experiences.
Spend quality time with them.
Spend quality time with them.
Share some secrets.
Give them blessings. Encourage them.
Gifts.
Gifts. Give them gifts.
Believe in your
My God, this interactive is not going to help me in my answer. No, actually, many of the things you said, if you think about making friends in this world, probably the first and most important thing is to give them your time and attention. Isn't it? If you want to make friends with someone, then it means you have to spend time with them. So the first thing we have to do is try to spend time with our mind. It's amazing that oftentimes what we do is we go through life and we do things mindlessly. That means we're doing it, but we're not even conscious or aware of our mind or where our attention is or like that. So what we encourage everyone, Dina talked about the 5 a.m. club. And what we encourage everyone to do is every single morning, spend some time just with your mind. And what do you do when you're with your mind? If you want to make friends with someone, then you feed it. And one of the most beautiful things you can feed the mind is wisdom. And when the mind is kind of augmented with that wisdom, then what happens is that the mind begins to act in a different way because there's a higher lens through which it's functioning now. So waking up early, digesting wisdom. Another really important thing in controlling the mind is to understand the mind. Just like if you want to get to know someone or be friends with them, it's important to know what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, what do they get triggered by. And that's why when you learn about the mind, when you hear from spiritual people, spiritual literature, then what happens is it helps you to understand how the mind acts, how it functions, what its behaviors are. So like this, it's very, very practical. And the most important thing is to spend some time of your day just working on your mental fitness. Just like we go to a gym to sort out our physical body, we try to spend some time in the mind gym every day.
You said if we want to get to know our mind, it's like a spiritual technology.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite interesting because technology, we think of something that belongs to science and computers and logical, systematic. And when we think about spirituality, it's free, it's subjective, it's open. So could you explain a little bit more what you mean by spiritual technology?
The first thing to understand is that we're not the mind. The mind is actually just machinery. And probably the easiest way to understand the mind is to liken it to an internet browser. If you think of an internet browser, is it alive? No. But does it help you to get to places you need to get to? Yes. So the mind is like that. An internet browser has a home page. So your mind also has a home page, a default way of thinking. An internet browser has a history. And so your mind also has a history. An internet browser has an autocomplete. So that when you type www.a, all the places you've been come up. So the mind also has an autocomplete. When it sees one thing, another 5 thoughts naturally come up. So the mind, in that sense, is like technology. It's like an internet browser. And if you don't configure your internet browser, then your internet browser can lead you astray and lead you to wasting super long amounts of time doing Kahoot quizzes that don't really help. Not this one. You'll end up getting diverted from where you're actually trying to go. Do you have that experience? Isn't it amazing how your internet browser and the YouTube feed comes up with all these things? You're kind of like, I don't really want to go there, but it's tempting. And so that's what the mind does. Therefore, we have to reconfigure the browser of the mind. And in that sense, the mind is like technology. It's software, and it can be configured.
Thank you. That was the first B in a beautiful character. Then the second one, beautiful company. You spoke about how we all need a cheerleader, a challenger, and a check-in. Yeah, a check-in. And I was thinking, yeah, do I have these three in my life? And I was thinking, okay, maybe I miss here and there something, but how do you change that? Because we all have friends, maybe already from high school, they're with us for such a long time. How do you let go of people that you feel like now may not fit your life anymore? Or how do you let go of them?
I think in all relationships of this world, we can learn something. The Bhagavad Gita explains that the people who are in your life, even the annoying ones, are all there for a reason. It's not by chance that you end up with the people around you, and all of them teach us something. And sometimes people teach us in a very positive way, and sometimes if we're in good spiritual consciousness, then even people who we struggle with, they can also teach us something very, very valuable as well. So I just want to begin by saying that when we talk about having good company, the automatic reaction shouldn't be to go on your phone and start blocking people. Please don't do that. Don't block me. Because everyone can teach us something. But remember, I told you that the people in our life are there, and to some extent you can't change that, but you can decide who to let into the inner sanctum of your life. And sometimes we don't make that decision consciously. And we let people have an influence in our life, and we give them more influence than we should be giving them. And so, who do you give the most influence to? Who do you give the most priority to? Whose opinions and expectations do you take most notice of? The one who knows you, the one who loves you, and the one who's got the spiritual wisdom to help you. And so, learn something from everyone, but be guided by those who know you, love you, and can help you. And those relationships will come over time. It's not like, on the 13th of August, I found the one who knows me, loves me, and can help me. No, that person may already be there, but you just need to spend more time with them and develop that relationship.
Then, beautiful contribution. We spoke about Dharma and the purpose that we have in life. You also spoke about that it has a negative effect if we cannot figure out what is our specific Dharma. I was wondering if we take that a little bit broader, what would happen if most of the society would not live up to their Dharma? What would happen to the world?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. How does it feel when you write a sentence with your non-writing hand? What happens? How does it make you feel? It's hard. What else? It's tiring, it's frustrating. What else? You do a lousy job. What else? You're not satisfied with the, you know you can do better. What else?
You can't express yourself.
You can't express yourself. You want to have so much, but you can't. It makes you feel that even you may lose confidence in other aspects of your life because you think, I can't even do this. So this is how we feel when we're actually living out our Dharma. If in your life you feel like you're slow, if you feel like you're not giving your best contribution, if you feel like life is tiring, these are all classic signs that you may not be living in your Dharma. And therefore, when the whole world is like that, when a society is like that, then what happens is that people find less and less value in their unique thing that they should be giving, and instead they put value on other things to make up for that lack of fulfillment. When we're not fulfilled in a society through Dharma, and when we're not fulfilled in our lives through Dharma, we need to find fulfillment in some way. And then what we do is we try to find fulfillment in temporary things which get us into more problems. And we see that in our own lives, and we see that in societies. Why do you have crime? Why do you have drug abuse? Why do you have so many different activities? Because people are not finding the best of themselves and not finding out how to contribute and that fulfillment from living in their Dharma. That's why it's so important.
Fourth one, beautiful culture. Of course, we saw a beautiful dance as part of culture, but you also mentioned in the slides that culture means food. It means the movies we eat, the places we go. And you mentioned that there are 3 categories: the tamasic category, which sort of brings our consciousness down; the rajas category, which makes us fiery and full of desire; and the sattvic category, which helps us to uplift us and bring us closer to our dharma. I noticed that in this culture, you're sort of pushed towards the middle category, to the fire, energy. If we look at our food, the fast food is so easily available, and the sattvic food is, you have to take time, and this costs more, and you have to put a lot of effort to make sattvic choices in your life. So how can we sort of handle this dynamic?
Yeah, it almost feels like by habit and by tradition and trend, we're pushed towards passion and ignorance. Someone once said to me, God, He stacked all the odds against us. Because God made all the enjoyable things easy to get addicted to. And all the hard things that are good for you, He made those things hard. Like, did anyone here have to struggle to get addicted to chocolate? I've been trying for years. Just can't do it. But how much effort we have to put in to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So this person said to me, He stacked the odds against us. Because all the good things are hard, and all the bad things are easy. So I looked at him, and I said one word for you: inclination. Have you heard this word? What's the Dutch word for inclination?
Inclinatie.
Okay. So you see this? This mic stand is inclined in a certain way, right? So, if I pour water, if you imagine this was, and what would happen is, as soon as I would pour the water, all the water would go where? Down. So if you imagine this is passion and ignorance, and this is goodness, and these are habits. If our inclination is towards passion and ignorance, then what happens is we naturally gravitate towards habits in passion and ignorance, and they seem like so easy, so natural. But through spiritual practice, what happens is you can actually change your inclination. And when you change your inclination through spiritual practice, being in the mode of goodness will be effortless. You'll kind of walk past McDonald's and you'll be like, nah. The alarm will go off at 5 o'clock and you'll be like, yes. Because your inclination has changed. But until your inclination hasn't changed, you have to fight. Therefore, the way to, when you have an inclination which is in the wrong way, we tell people, number 1, restrict, stop the water. Then, number 2, redirect. And number 3, re-incline. And that's the way to actually change your entire lifestyle. First, you have to restrict yourself from certain things. Then you have to start redirecting and relearning. And eventually, when you've done it for long enough, you re-incline. And then all of the good things are just like effortless. Kind of like, you love eating healthy food. You love waking up at the right time every day. You love doing things with attention and generosity. It just becomes second nature. But you have to work to get there because we're inclined in the wrong way.
Sometimes we hear people say, no, that's just who I am. I'm wired that way. That's how I was born.
Yeah.
How do we know the difference between what we learned, we taught ourselves or got taught by the world, and what is really within us?
Everything that's good is who you are. And everything that's bad is who you ain't. Sometimes people say, I can't be humble. I'm just a proud person. There's no such thing as a proud soul. Every soul is humble. Every soul is kind. Every soul is beautiful. And every soul, Krishna says, is amazing. And how we display our humility, how we display our compassion may vary, but in essence, that is what we are. And so, the beautiful thing about spirituality is that you're not trying to become something new. You're actually trying to unlearn everything the world told you to be so you can become who you truly were in the first place. And then it's amazing that the simultaneously easiest and most difficult thing in the world is to be yourself. To be humble, tolerant, kind, compassionate is to be your real self. But in a world where we've been trained to function in a different way, it's almost like we have to make effort. But eventually it becomes very, very natural.
Thank you. And the last one was beautiful connection. And you asked the question, how deep is my spirituality? It was interesting, when we were about to take the lunch, we were walking outside, we were talking a little bit, and it's so different. You come outside of the studio and suddenly you're in the city, everything is moving faster, and you can really feel different energy coming upon you. So even this small, a few hours that we spend is already helping to do something within our consciousness, little surgery is happening. And you shared about the jewel box, so there are 3 paths, the Gyan path, the Karma path, and then in the middle of the jewel is the Bhakti path. So if we go out there again after this, what are a few practical things that we can immediately start doing tonight? In the path of Bhakti, which we're focusing on today, that can help us to keep being in that state, so we don't lose that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, what we've created here today is like a sanctuary. And all of you are endangered species. In a world where everyone's just looking at material things, very, very few people are trying to genuinely, spiritually refine themselves. And when we create an atmosphere like this, we help each other to become strong, like in a sanctuary. So that when you go out there and all the predators are there, then you don't get attacked, and you survive. How to hold it together when you're out there, perhaps the most simple way I can share with you is ABCD. A stands for associate. Make sure not a day goes by where you don't connect with a spiritual person and have a spiritual conversation. Come to an event, connect online, speak to someone on the phone, but connect, associate with spiritual people, because that gives a lot of strength, it gives a lot of perspective. B stands for books. I often tell people, small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, but great minds discuss wisdom. And so while the whole world is talking about each other and the whole world is talking about what's going on in the world, we can take time every single day to connect with wisdom and higher dimensional insights that can nourish our soul. C stands for...
Will be a few recommendations of books?
I do have a few books here. The Bhagavad Gita we were talking about is the most, perhaps the most powerful and condensed spiritual manual life book that can navigate you through everything. And so we encourage people to take away a Bhagavad Gita, And we also have some other books which explain the Gita. And we have courses on the Gita as well that you can do online. So yeah, that's. C stands for chanting. So I share with people that when you wake up in the day, make the first conversation a conversation with God. And if you begin the day with chanting, with mantra, it's an opportunity to have a conversation with the most beautiful personality in creation. And when you begin with that conversation, then you connect with your deepest identity, and then you emerge in the world with elevated consciousness. So try to do it. You can take the mantra with you. You can take some beads. You know, you may have seen some of us with a bead bag. Once I was carrying this down the street, and someone thought I had I twisted my hand or something. Is that recording here? So yeah, you can just carry the beads with you. The beads are beautiful. Let the first conversation be a conversation with divinity. And the final thing, diet, D stands for diet, which means just eat consciously. That means source your ingredients from non-violent places, cook them together with love and attention, and before you take your meal, just say a prayer and offer it to divinity, knowing that this is a gift. And it's amazing, just by eating consciously, you make so much spiritual advancement. Just try it. Just try to change your diet to a more conscious diet, and you'll see how much of an effect that has. So like that, A, B, C, D, it's just so simple, and it doesn't require you to change anything drastically. You don't have to become a monk, although we do have vacancies. Let me know. But otherwise, it's all good. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever's happening in life, you are where you are for a reason, and you have the opportunity to make an incredible spiritual impact on the people around you. But we can't take the world to a higher place than what we've reached internally ourselves. And therefore, if you spend some time every day, A, B, C, D, you'll be in an elevated conscious state, and then you'll be able to have a beautiful effect on others. And then, instead of being influenced by the world, you will be an influencer of the world.
Thank you. So the D of diet, I think our stomachs are full, but our ears and heart are hungry for more. So if you want, we can open the floor now to everyone. If you have some questions, please feel free. I'll give the stage.
Yeah, perhaps you have some questions about any of these points, or if you also have any wider questions about spirituality, about the Hare Krishnas, happy to have a little bit of a discussion. Yes?
The title was What Makes Life Beautiful? I was writing it down and it didn't fit first part, so I thought, what makes life beautiful? And then I read it again, and there's 4 questions in one. What makes life beautiful? We touched that. Thank you very much for the insight.
Thank you.
The second one is then, what makes life? The third one is, what makes? The final question is, what?
Wow, so you're a philosophical mind then. Do you want to answer those questions yourself?
No, not really.
What makes life beautiful? We talked about those 5 things. What makes life? Life is meant for service. We tell people you earn a living by what you get, but you earn a life by what you give. So a life which begins with I, me and mine, and ends with I, me and mine, isn't really a life at all. Because what makes life? When we give. What makes? I think what makes is love. Love makes everything. Why is anything in this world created? Why do we go through such big endeavors to achieve such complicated things in life? Because somewhere along the line, we've invested our heart in someone or something. And so, love is what drives everything. And the final question is, what? If anyone wants to help me, you're welcome. What? I'll come back to you on that one. But thank you very much. That was very insightful. Appreciate it. Is some other hands here? Yes.
What do you think about wars? Will we have the world without it? Maybe one day?
Yeah. We live in a world where there's so much aggression, there's so much animosity. Martin Luther King said, the people who want peace in this world have to be as intelligent, organized and active as those people that are trying to create war. It's amazing, the people who want to create war in the world, they're so organized. They use their intelligence in such deviant ways, and they're so active, they're working harder than anyone. But oftentimes the people who have something beautiful to give to the world, the people who actually have solutions which can bring about peace and unity, they're not as organized and as hardworking. And so we need more spiritual people to come out in the world and give their time, give their energy. And when all of that is done, will the world still be rid of war? Maybe not. Sometimes we look at the world and we think, I don't think we can ever change the world. And then we become discouraged. But when I wake up in the morning, I look at the world and I think, maybe I can't change the world, but maybe today I could change somebody's world. Maybe you can't change the whole world, but what about if you could wake up in the morning and change somebody's world? Then that would mean the world to them. And therefore, let us not become discouraged if we think the force of the world is going in a negative direction, because in the midst of that, you have the opportunity to touch someone's heart and bring a smile to someone's face. And what could be more meaningful to do in life than that? Anyone else?
My question is about the topic of Dharma. I feel like I've been trying for years to actually live Dharma, like work in this field. What is my Dharma? And volunteered, lived in temples, whatever. But somehow life always keeps pushing me back to work in order to make a living, like in fields which don't feel like my Dharma, but like a necessity, which is still kind of painful to feel.
Yeah.
What is your insight on that?
Don't give up. It's worth it. All good things in life take time. One of my best friends in London, he was working as a lawyer and he really didn't like it. But he was earning a lot of money and he had a family to support. But what he did at one point was he said to himself, I'm going to work 4 days as a lawyer, and then the 5th day I'm going to start learning coaching. And so that's what he did. And then after he finished his coaching course, what he started doing is coaching people in that one day. And then eventually he did 3 days as a lawyer and 2 days as a coach. And then he did 3 days as a coach and 2 days as a lawyer. Nothing against lawyers. Just to add that in there. And the amazing thing is, now he's working as a coach and he's earning more than he earned as a lawyer. Because dharma rakshita rakshita, if you protect your dharma will protect you. So some people are meant to be coaches, some people are meant to be lawyers, some people are meant to be monks. And no one's better than anyone else. People kind of, sometimes they're very generous, they look at me and they're like, it's amazing, you're living as a monk, and I'm just kind of like, this is just fun, I just do this fun. I don't think I'm anything amazing or special, like, I just have a good time. And I'm so fortunate that I'm able to get food on my plate and have shelter. But my conviction is that if you follow what you're meant to be doing, what God-given talent you've been given, why will divinity not reciprocate with you? Especially if you use it in service. That's the perfection of life. So it takes time. And as I said, exercising is hard. Being ill is even harder. Studying for your exams is hard, but failing them and have to do it all over again is even harder. And finding your dharma is hard, but living out your dharma and being satisfied with that or trying to is even harder. And so, 80,000 hours in your life. You still got a lot of life in you, got a long journey ahead, you still got time, so don't give up. Something amazing is waiting for you, and maybe this struggle is required. Just say one last thing about struggle. Once there was a caterpillar and it was morphing into a beautiful butterfly and it was breaking out the cocoon. And it was struggling like anything. And so one man saw the butterfly struggling and thought, wow, let me help it. So he kind of slit the cocoon open so that it could be free, and then the butterfly came flying out. And after 10 seconds it went flat and died. And as he reflected on the situation, he realized it was nature's arrangement. It had to struggle. It had to break out and strengthen its wings by breaking through that cocoon, because that ultimately allowed it to then fly in the sky. And so, easily won things, easily achieved things are not often leading us to our highest potential and gratitude. And so just understand that that struggle is just part of it. Yes, it's a
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. So the question of this nice lady from me, referring to her question and your answer, I have a personal experience with this. Sometimes we don't know what is our dharma, and I hope I'm not going to speak about my profession, but now I do. So I became a lawyer and always thought this stupid thing, why did I become a lawyer? My dad liked it, and I had some motives the week before, justice, etc. But finally, when I graduated, I thought, and I worked for the court, I worked for ministries, I tried all the legal things, and I was very unhappy. And I told my Guru Maharaj, my spiritual master, I really would like to quit and focus on, I don't think this is my work. I want to focus on Krishna now. He said you have to stay and you have to transform everybody at work. Now what happens is, at a certain moment, unexpectedly, I was only initiated 1 year. Second year, something drew me to Amsterdam Temple. I lived in Rotterdam. It's a true story. I never had been there. I'm one-way oriented. I always get lost at street. My daughters told me, what are you going to do there? I said, I don't know. I have to go. I went to Amsterdam Temple, and the devotees were freaked out. It was a Sunday feast. And then I spoke to them, and they said, we are on the street. We don't have a place to stay. It was the previous place. we have to get out here. The owner wants the owner back, he wants back. I checked it with Mahaprabhu, the owner of Garuda, and indeed the owner was right. So they had to be on the street. There were only brahmacharis in the temple. I was the only woman after Sunday feast. And my feeling said you have to stay here. To make it short, they had a meeting, and it was all about prashadam. It was about new building, but the asked was prashadam in the center, and then they said stop now. So that night, and I told him you have to do this, and talking to the authorities, and this, and the whole strategy. And that night I became project leader, new building. To make it short, finally I found this building, not me, thank Krishna's mercy. It was one floor, nothing else, 9 politically based. I built it in like a temple, not I, Krishna's grace. And then I understood. I made a contract, like everything was finished, and I understood, and I prayed to Prabhupada. I'm not qualified, I don't know why I have to do this, but the building was there. And I was sitting and thinking, this is what I had to do. This is why I had to get this paper. And suddenly the dharma, the feeling changed. I'm a full-time coach now. And I found myself, this is so peaceful. This is really what I love, to connect to one heart. And it's like I had to go through this all to make a contract. Devotees have a place to stay, and I became peaceful. And at that time, I became TP for 40 years. When I did my thing, my own path, as you call it, own karma, your real karma. Then I found the seva job where I think this is real me, and Krishna used me as an instrument and give me this role for this project. Understand? So it can change. It can change. So maybe you have to do something for Krishna. That's why you have to struggle. And at the end of the day, you feel comfortable in what he is giving me now. I also not became to take this full-time coach, and I'm very happy.
Thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate it. All right. I see more hands, but I don't know how you're feeling. Would you like to sing a little bit, or would you like to have more discussion? I have no problem. For me, I sit. When they put us in front of a mic, we just go on and on and on. So you guys have to sit there listening to us. So I'm just there's 2 options, discuss or sing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do an audio survey here. If you want to discuss, then you say discuss. And if you want to sing, you say sing. And whichever one's louder, you can only choose one. Whichever one's louder is what we're going to do. Okay? Because we live in a democracy. Amsterdam Holland is a democracy, right? So who is a donkey that I would as the king?
Some questions?
Alright, 2 options, discuss or sing. If you want to, no. First, one by one. So if you want to discuss, then after 3 say discuss. 3, 2, 1. Discuss! Okay, let's see. And now if you want to sing, after 3 say sing. 3, 2, 1. Sing! I think it's some fun. Thank you so much everyone. Have a wonderful last final leg of this retreat. And we'll be doing some singing. I'll just hand over for a few announcements. And as part of the singing, you can also dance if you like.